every area of my life, I would say that is complete. I've been married for 12 years now, and I'm really happy married. And the way I see my son focus now, he's really focused, he loves what he's doing, and I'm so pleased to see him. And my financial life today, I'm working the place I want to work. It's something that I'm very happy with. But it wasn't always like this. The struggle that I was facing as a single mom was loneliness. And I was on my own. I felt like nobody will want me because I've got the child. My self-esteem went really, really low. I didn't believe in myself. So I was like, there's nothing more to be done. Who will look at me? I have to work long hours to manage even the rent where we were. So I didn't have time with him. So that contributed into him being away or doing whatever he was doing, because all the stuff that I was not monitoring or was not supervising him, he was doing what he wanted to do. Sometimes, it's difficult as a parent, especially a single parent. You're going out, you're doing things, but you don't have time to talk. When you sit down to talk to them, you realize they really need you, but you don't have time. Okay, I've provided food, go and sleep, that kind of thing. So when I came to church, I was taught how to use my faith. For me, faith was a big word. How am I using my faith? And that's when we had helpers and explain to us how you're going to do practical things. For example, how am I going to bond with my son so that he will be able to listen and we'll be able to be this family that we're looking for. When you talk to them, you realize that they really need to talk, they really need to express themselves, they really want to hear your voice. So that helps, because it was quite practical, because I was not doing all those things. And for me, that helps to change and direct my son who he is today. So then I started attending Love Life meetings, which we were told, people like me who lost hope. And one of the things that when I went in, one of the things I really want to know, how can I build myself up? How can I bring back my self-esteem? Because I didn't have no self-esteem at all. And through those meetings, that's when we were told to love ourselves. And for me, it was like, how? And the simple things, even the way you dress, the way you look, the way you smell. And through those meetings, I realized, what, I can't build up, I can't come up back. And I started building my self-confidence. And that's when I met my husband, and today we are happily married for 12 years. And I'm happy. What I can say today is that don't lose hope. There is a way out. And most people think it's over. As I was thinking, I was in the same situation. But today I'm happily married. I've got a lovely son. My financial life is changed. So there is hope if you look for one.
Good evening and welcome to Finding Answers. Do you feel trapped? Do you feel that at this moment you are stuck in a rut and you feel unable to come out? Or maybe trying to, free yourself, but no matter what you do, it's like the more you move, the more stuck you get, because you are in a relationship where you are not happy with. It's a controlling relationship. You're not really, free to maybe even say what you want or do what you want. In a financial situation now where, you're pretty much everything that comes in has to immediately go out just to pay off debts. Things are out of control. Things went awry for you. So if that is the case, is there a way to get help? Is there a way to overcome, to free yourself? Right off the bat, we want to say there is. And that's what we intend to do tonight, to present you some tools, some guidelines that will help you free yourself, get unstuck from this situation. So tonight's topic is help. I feel trapped. So we intend to help you. This video will explain a little bit more in detail what's tonight's topic, and we'll come back talking more about it to help you tonight.
The reasons that people feel trapped in life could be due to finances, being in a controlling relationship, having a sense of helplessness, and generally lacking control. They feel like they have no idea what to do next, or that they have been spending their life working on all the wrong projects and chasing after all the wrong things, and getting involved with all the wrong people. at a conscious level, some people are prone to feeling trapped. And it's these people who want to feel free and unrestricted. But unconsciously, they have an affinity for the feeling of being trapped. This feeling often stems from lingering emotions and memories having to do with childhood helplessness and passivity. So while we think we want to feel free, we might not quite know how to live without our old, familiar sense of isolation, restriction, and routine. So instead of confidently navigating their way into a better situation, they remain stuck in the old pain of feeling stuck. So whether you are actually stuck in a negative situation, or you have long-term memories of needing change in your life, why not start to take a look at your behaviour and actions and see if there is a new way that you can start to get rid of these feelings of being trapped and free yourself.
So, what to do in order to free yourself? The first thing is to understand that by doing nothing, things won't get better. If you are stuck, somehow you're trapped, understand you need to do something to come out of this situation. Second thing is maybe you are doing something, but what you're doing is not really working. It's not bringing the results, the freedom. So then you need help. You need to learn how to get unstuck from this situation. Sometimes you can't do this all by yourself. And you have to be humble and honest to admit, I need help. Even though you may consider yourself a strong person, maybe you've been, independent, you maybe have a hard time to admit that you need help, but there comes a time when we just have to do it. So we have to swallow our pride or whatever prevents you from getting help and admit that you need help. These are two basic steps, but they are very important, crucial. You have to take action, but also if the action you've been taking is not working, then you need help. I have tonight with me Victoria. Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Victoria, from the psychological point of view, what could you say about the topic tonight? Help, I feel trapped.
Well, it's a very interesting topic because it really does depend on why you are trapped. Now, in the video, I mentioned that some people actually have an inherent belief that they're trapped even though they're not, and that can come from childhood, maybe feeling a sense of hopelessness or helplessness as a child. It doesn't matter actually what your situation will be, but throughout life, you will still constantly feel trapped. It's quite interesting. But on the other hand, we have people such as women stuck in relationships with domestic violence. And that's when people can actually physically be trapped because they don't have the strength, they have fear, and they're unable to then leave. So it's a huge topic.
So, for instance, concerning sometimes, I believe it happens mostly with women that are in a relationship where abuse is involved, maybe verbal abuse or even physical abuse. Why is it, why sometimes for some of them it's hard to just do something and resolve the problem, either leave that toxic relationship or get help? Why is it that sometimes many of them just put up with a relationship like this?
Yeah, when people talk to women or talk about women who have stayed in relationships with a lot of violence, they just don't understand. They say, why haven't you left? But the fear, so say there are children involved, the woman will fear what will happen to the children. They also may feel embarrassment that their marriage has broken down, but also the fear of the unknown. And quite often men who are violent will take control of things like the finances. So a woman may have no idea actually how to leave and how to separate her money. She might not be in control of her money anymore. So she just feels totally helpless and really can't see a way out.
Yeah, that's a very important point because probably the issue is inside. Whether you feel trapped and you're not, whether you are in a situation where you're actually trapped, but you can take action to free yourself, but you don't. Fear is involved, maybe insecurities. So these are issues that are inside. So the first also thing to understand is you have to work on yourself from the inside out. Even from the point of view of faith too, God does not start his work in a person's life from the outside in. Actually, it's from the inside out. And you can get tips on how to use your faith in a more effective way, how to, with the help of God, have more self-confidence. Spiritual help is available too. But the work, remember, it starts from the inside out. If you don't get rid of the issues that are inside, the situation externally, it's not going to change. So if you feel like talking to us right now, if you feel that this is pertinent to what you're going through and you want to get help now, you don't want to live like this anymore and you want change, so we are here to help. There are advisors that can speak to you on the phone right now. You can send us an email. Victoria, could you give the contact details for those who want to talk to us?
So you can speak to one of our advisors at any point during the show. Our number is 020 7686 6300, or send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv, or you can talk to us via social media. Send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindingAnswers TV, or search for us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
Very good. So we're going to show you a story of someone who went through serious issues and she was trapped. But with the right guidance, she was able to be free. But it's not going to be now, because we're going to go to a break and we're going to be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Monday, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesday, prayers for healing. Wednesday, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursday, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturday, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sunday, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
Steering killer drones searching for aircraft missiles won't reach Syria for several months. Fighter jets to be outside.
Come on, spin me around now. I don't wanna go home. 'Cause when you hold me like this, you know my heart skips a beat. I know I should, but I can't leave it alone. And when you hold me like this, that's when my heart skips a beat. You gotta love this, man.
Welcome back to Finding Answers, and tonight's topic is Help, I Feel Trapped. We're going to speak now to a live guest, Stephanie Steadman, who is here tonight to share with us her story of success.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
So, hi Stephanie.
Hiya.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Your story of feeling trapped starts how? Where and how?
Everything that you said earlier on related to me. It started kind of as a child. As a young girl, I was a victim of sexual abuse. And my biological mum, she had mental health issues, so she wasn't able to look after the children well enough. She wasn't well enough. And as I grew up, I always knew that this was my story. and I kept it inside. I always felt like I was different from kind of other children, that they didn't have kind of the pressures that I had. And I was adopted later on because, as I said, my mum couldn't look after me. And I always felt like...
Sorry, how old were you when you were adopted?
So I was in care probably from about 2 till about 6, and then I was adopted when I was 6.
Right.
And my mum was always open, my adopted mum was always open with me about what had gone on. But I felt really kind of, I didn't feel part of the family at all. And I always felt that I had to kind of be on my best behaviour and almost...
Why was that? Was it just because the way you felt or because the way you were treated?
I think my mum was kind of a bit more overprotective. So I was her last child. I was the last of 7 children. But I think because she knew what had gone on, she was kind of different with me. And I always thought it's because she didn't love me, when really, you know, now I see that she wanted to protect me. So she was kind of had more rules for me. And I just didn't want to burden them. I felt like I was a kind of visitor into a family. So I didn't want to talk to them about any of the things that I was thinking or feeling. I just pretended that everything was fine. And at night time, that was when I kind of let out how I was feeling. I would cry. I started cutting my wrists at 11. When I left home, when I wasn't in the house, I would be a completely different person.
Why would you do that? What were you trying to accomplish? I mean,
a lot of people ask, why do people self-harm? And I try to kind of remember how I was in that moment, but I was just really sad. I felt like I was a victim. I felt like no one would understand what I was going through. That I was the only person kind of facing these issues. And I just didn't want to live.
Did you see someone doing it and you learned from someone, or was it your own idea?
Actually, it was an idea at my school where I went to. I got a scholarship to go to a private school because I was quite smart. And it was a bit of a trend that would happen. So I started smoking at 11, but I would see that, girls would listen to a certain type of music, kind of rock music, and they would carve like words in their hands and things like that. And when I would do it, I would just want to distract myself from how I was feeling. It was just kind of a distraction. The act of self-harm was to feel physical harm, not emotional harm.
And you do it in the night?
Yes.
So you're crying yourself to sleep?
Yes.
Sometimes harming yourself?
Yes, most nights, yeah. I would look at pictures of my biological family, try and make sense of who I was. I didn't know who I was. I didn't understand, why things had happened to me. And I really hated myself. I used to think, was I a bad child? Why my mum didn't want me? What was the reason? Was it the way I look? Was I bad? All of these sort of questions ran in my head. And yeah, those were just tools I would use to distract myself from how I felt.
Did you feel suicidal?
Yes, as I got older, I just didn't want to live. I thought, why am I here? What is the point of living? I'm not happy. I'm not how everybody else is. Everybody seems to be happier than I am. Why am I here? That's what I used to think.
But did you actually try to do it? Were you fantasizing with scenarios how it would happen?
Yes, I thought so. Kind of as time went on, I felt more distant from my family because as I was getting older, I was going through, kind of the usual phases of life when you get older and making sense of who you are. And I decided to run away from home at 15. Again, I just felt trapped in 2 lives. So outside of home, I was quite a popular girl, chirpy, loud. I was smoking. I had, boyfriends. But inside home, I had to be, kind of really disciplined and wouldn't speak to anybody about the things that was going on inside of me. So I felt trapped in between these 2 people, and I knew that none of them was really me, but I didn't know who I was. So I decided to just run away one day from home. I never went back home, and things got worse. So I didn't have anywhere to stay. I was staying at friends' houses, and I met my ex-boyfriend just one day randomly and told him of the situation. I didn't have anywhere to stay. Can I stay at his house? And that relationship lasted for 3 years and ended up being an abusive relationship. He was addicted to heroin. Mm-hmm. He was a drug dealer. He would kind of hit me. He would control me. And that was kind of when I felt my lowest, one of my lowest times. Mm-hmm. And I thought, how would I kill myself? What would I use? Would it be a rope? Where would I put it? And I kind of thought of ideas, but I never had the courage, if I can say that, to actually to go through with it.
Right. You said one of the worst times.
Yes.
There were times that were also as bad as that. But before talking about it, just to make a brief comment, so you see, she was doing something. Self-harming, smoking, drinking, partying. But what she was doing was not going to bring any positive effect for her, only negative ones. And asking questions, but the wrong ones. Why did it happen to me? Why was I born into this situation? What wrong have I done? All these questions related to the past. Maybe you are asking yourself these questions all the time. So you're asking the wrong questions because there's nothing about your past that you can change. If you're asking questions that are related to yesterday, last year, when you were a child, you are asking yourself the wrong questions. So change this. Stop asking the wrong questions and start asking the right ones. What can I do now to come out of this? Because you can. Start doing something, but not something negative that will hurt yourself and others. Learn to do something positive. Get help. Get knowledge on how you can overcome this situation. How did people who had a negative story turned it into a positive one? Get help from God. Because God is not negative. He's not someone who is dwelling in the past and angry at you for the wrong things you've done. He's more like excited about working with you to change your life for the better. He's stretching out his hands even through her story right now. Can't you see that God is trying to speak to you through her, through what we're saying here, what we're doing here tonight? So if you need help, call us now, 0207 686 6300. You can speak to an advisor now, and it's going to make all the difference in the world for you. Or send us an email at help@findinganswers.tv. help@findinganswers.tv. We're going to go to a break because Stephanie is going to tell us what was the lowest point, and then she's going to tell us how she overcame everything.
I get motivated to kickstart life again. That motivation that just pushed me for the rest of the week. So it's like a boost.
It gave me that hope. It gave me something to look forward to.
I felt welcomed. The environment it's hard to explain, but I felt at peace. It's home.
Sometimes, in order for you to get to the place that you want to be, it's important just to take that little step.
They didn't judge me from what background I came from. I felt like I belonged.
One of the greatest things is, you get to meet new people. Maybe, hopefully, I might get to see you there.
In life, there are problems that just hit you with a blow. Everything crumbles away and the heartache never seems to disappear. Everything keeps going wrong. You are in despair. What do you do when your hope isn't enough? When your single prayer seems to return unanswered and the persistent problem is still there? Make the chain of prayer and turn things around once and for all. Don't give up. Make a chain of prayer. It works.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is Help, I Feel Trapped. So many people feel trapped because of their actual definition of success. If you believe success is income and that bigger houses, more luxurious cars, basically anything materialistic is what represents success, then you may feel trapped because you will constantly be searching and competing for happiness that you may actually never find. But some people won't actually know why they feel trapped in life. They may feel overwhelmed with responsibilities. They will feel like they can't let go of any of these responsibilities, so they keep trying to maintain what could be an unrealistic and stressful lifestyle. So what can people do in order to feel more like their life is an arena rather than a prison? Well, it may be that you've accepted an incorrect formula of happiness. Now, something called positive psychology suggests that rather simply buying into our culture's idea of success and how to demonstrate success, try instead to focus on enjoying your life. Enjoy the time that you spend with people, relationships, family and loved ones. Try to think of all the positives that you have already experienced and what you've got to look forward to in the future. So this could help you see a way out if you are feeling trapped. So let's go to the streets of London to see what the general public have to say on this topic.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And so
you can have as many friends and families as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chika here on the streets of London for Finding Answers. A study conducted found that 69% of Britons felt trapped in their lives and 42% felt actively unhappy. So that means 3 in 10 Britons felt trapped and unhappy in their lives. What's making them so unhappy? Let's find out from the general public. A study conducted shows that 3 in 10 people in Britain are unhappy with their lives. So what do you think is the most common reason people in Britain are unhappy?
I think everyone's happy because when you go to other countries, like poorer third world countries, you realise that they don't have anything, so they're happy with nothing. But in England, we keep getting fed more and more stuff, so we're always wanting the next bigger thing. So everyone's just always unhappy, trying to get the next bigger thing.
Yeah, kind of like culture. We don't really have much culture going on here at the moment. It's more like people are just going out, going to work, trying to make money, go back home, and we're all in recession. It's like so much stress on our shoulders when we don't actually know that much about it. So we're kind of going against each other because like no one seems to be smiling nowadays, and just it's like that they're just constantly stressed. But like it's not our own faults. It's like everything that's happening around us just piling onto us, sort of thing. So I think it's like the actual environment and culture at the moment that's going on. It's just not really happening right now.
I really do think it's up again to the individual, what they feel, how they think, etc. Because happiness, I mean, no one can buy happiness, a feeling. And I think people have the wrong concept of happiness. A lot of materialistic things I think people look at for happiness, but no, it's a feeling within you. If you know what you want to do and what makes you happy, then go out and do it. And again, that comes with that word fear. Fear of happiness? My gosh, it's not there. Give it a good kick up the butt and say, hey, I'm here, I'm happy, and I have no fear.
I think that's the weather condition. That it is, but we must live with it. Yes.
Mostly rain makes people sad.
Yes, raining and windy condition.
So you heard the opinions of the people in the streets of London. To some of them, this is such a simple thing. To others, it's more complicated. And it also, I would say, on the spiritual aspect, has to do with the person's determination and closeness to God. Someone who is really close to God is positive. It's easy for them to deal with their challenges. They see challenges as opportunities. They see problems like bread. I can eat this problem like bread. It's going to make me stronger because I'm going to overcome and find out that God really exists. To someone who is not so close to God, things may look and seem way more difficult than they really are. And once again, when I say this, getting close to God, by no means I'm trying to speak about a religion, to promote religion. Actually, I believe people don't need religion to be close to God. I believe people need to learn from Him. We believe His Word. We speak about the Bible, the Scriptures. This Word is true, and from the moment someone starts learning it and practicing it, they will see for sure positive change in their lives. So back with Stephanie. So you were about to tell us in the previous segment that there was another very dark moment in life, right? What happened?
It's kind of related to what you were saying earlier about asking for help. I looked around me and I couldn't see a way for me to get help, who I could speak to, who I could trust. It was really embarrassing to be in this situation. And I managed to get help. I managed to find the advisors similar to the ones if you call in today, and they were really non-judgmental. They had been through similar situations themselves, so they understood where I was coming from and kind of helped me to reprogram my thoughts, the way that I would look at the things that I'd gone through, a bit like you were saying earlier, to see my problems as ways that I could find a solution and to feel like I've overcome, to see the journey that I've come through. And I think that one of my worst moments was when I was getting help. I was receiving the advice and the guidance that I needed, and I was getting closer to God because I found a church where I was moving forward and I was hearing positive words. And although I'd come out of those situations, I wasn't smoking anymore, I wasn't sleeping around, I wasn't having unhealthy relationships, I'd stopped self-harming. I wasn't accessing that help the way that I should have. I still at times felt empty inside. For years I was getting help, but I wasn't really being open and honest about what was really going on for me. And this was the worst part of my life because the help was so near. I could almost touch it. I could see, a better life so close around me. I could see people who had overcome even worse situations that I'd been through. And that was the worst, I would say, time in my life.
Right, because you saw that you could, achieve the total breakthrough, but there was still something hindering you from taking that step.
I was spiritually trapped. I can say this, because as I said, physically, I was out of those situations. I didn't have those problems there, the addictions, the self-harm, but there was things inside of me, the fear. It was the imprint of the abuse, the situations that I'd faced before was left inside of me, the way, my character. I was fearful to speak to people. I was, fearful to open up, to say that actually, although you've given me loads of help, there's still more help that I need. There's still more questions that I have. And I would just urge people to not be scared, to not be fearful, to not feel that people would judge you, but to speak, because there is help available. And there are people, there. It's free of charge. It's not a kind of counselling session or anything like that you have to pay for. It's easily and readily available for people to access.
So these memories, the trauma, was it still something I can imagine very difficult for you to let go of?
Yes.
Was it the last step, like the final,
hurdle
thing to do, right? The final hurdle, to overcome, to have this experience with God?
Yes.
When you did it, when you did it, when you finally, decided to surrender, to let go of this, did you have a true experience with God?
Yes, I did.
What happened? Talk about it, please.
As I said, I'd been in my church, getting help. I'd overcome those problems. And I just decided to kind of trust. I think that was my issue. I'd never been able to trust anybody, not even my mum, all in my life, people had let me down. So I relied on myself, but I didn't even trust myself because I'd caused many problems in my life. And I decided to trust God because throughout the time that I was with him, he'd never let me down. He had never let me down. Anything that he said he would do, he'd done. And so I just said to him, okay, I give you everything that I am. I'm going to fully trust you. I'm going to open up. I'm not going to be scared about what anybody thinks because, to be honest, I've had probably the worst. The worst is over. The worst is done. And when I did that, I was at peace. I was at peace. I received God inside of me. I trusted in him. I trusted in what he said he would do in my life. And I received peace. I was no longer scared. I was no longer scared of dying. I was no longer scared of, going back to how I was before. I was no longer scared of what people could do to me. I kind of suddenly had confidence in myself.
What this, besides the thing you've already spoke about, what this particular experience with God changed about you?
Everything. The way that I looked at the world, the way that I had hope for my future, the way that I looked at problems, because I still have problems, but it's like a sat nav. I have a way to kind of overcome. I have hope for the future. I have basically everything that I need. I feel like a superwoman. I can say this. I know what I need to do.
You're strong, you're confident today. These things of the past, you can talk about it now. I see you're not crying. I didn't have to give you a handkerchief or anything here, right? Because you overcame emotionally. You are strong. What do you do today?
I work with young people in my local area and just encouraging them to have this positivity inside of them. They are facing many difficulties, many problems. I go into prisons and work with people who are facing life sentences and to encourage them to use their faith because they have faith inside. It's so small, but they have something inside of them that says things can be different. Although everything against them, looks the opposite, all the odds are against them, they have something inside, something small that says, my life can change. And it's to encourage that to grow, to kind of water that seed inside of them. That's what I do.
Right. So, you see, we're going to pray very soon, shortly. You can even prepare a glass with water because we're going to bless it. But this is what we're talking about. As I said in the beginning, sometimes you are stuck and you can't get unstuck all by yourself. You need help. And sometimes, depending on the situation, like Stephanie's situation, only the help of God will do. You need this experience, something similar with what she had. We're not talking about religion. We're not talking about singing and raising the hands. We are talking about an honest to goodness, real experience with God. How is that possible? That's the thing. With God, for him to enter your life, he's not willing to change just a little bit, but to change everything. However, you will have also to surrender everything. And this is where a lot of people, they hit this roadblock and they can't go forward because they have, like I said, trusting issues. Of course, she couldn't trust because there was the fear. But at some point she had to decide, okay, I have to understand that God is not a man, he's not a woman, he's not going to do to me what these people in the past did and hurt me. So I have to put my trust in him. When you surrender, really surrender to God, he enters your life, he changes you, he helps you. That's what he wants to do. But he doesn't do it all alone. Don't just say, oh, but I already tried everything. No. You don't even know what everything is. So don't claim you tried everything. Maybe you tried many things. But even for her, it was not like she came to a church and then the following day everything was nice. It was a process. It took years. But it was evolution until this final experience with God that changed everything. And you can achieve the same. Sometimes we speak about it like I'm trying to convince you, and that's not my intention. If I could convince you because I know it's good, I would, but I just want you to think. Life is much more than what you're seeing now. But we can't take this decision for you. No one actually can, not even God. It has to be your decision to surrender to him and to come closer to him. Start something new today, now if you want, and you will see that the outcome will be great. Okay, you can give us a call if you want some guidance, some help, if you want to talk to us, 0207-686-6300, or you can send us an email at help@findinganswers.tv. I want to thank Stephanie, okay, for being here with us tonight, right? God bless you. May you continue in this faith, because I believe the best is yet to come.
I agree.
Okay?
Thank you.
Very good. We're going to go to a short break and back after this.
Are you a duck? What can it do? It swims. It walks. It flies. But does it do them all well? Yes, a duck can do all of the above, but it's not known for being great at any. So, are you a duck? Rather than attempting to do all things, why not be the best at one thing at a time? You will find you'll actually learn to be great at more things.
She told me, "You are beautiful. I love you." Say again. You are beautiful.
Your destination. A destination that's not defined by your circumstances, by what's happening to you now, by what happened to you in the past.
So today was my first time and I absolutely loved it.
Come and see. They need to come and really test it.
You are a warrior, and we need these qualities that you have to come and defend our household.
Just a big eye opener on how positive changes will make such a big difference in all that I do. So, yeah.
What captured me was the title, The Inner Healing, because I've been going through a lot in my life and I've overcome them, but there were things that I needed to deal with that were deep down on the inside, and it was the inner healing that captured my thoughts, and I was intrigued to find out what was going on.
You get what you give out.
Women need this. Women need a meeting like this.
Hiding in my skin, broken from within, unveil me completely. I'm loosening my grasp. There's no need to mask my frailty, 'cause you see the real me.
So I believe that through this program, the story that you saw, the stories, actually, the testimonies, the guidance, we hope to have inspired you to believe that you can be free. Actually, God wants those who believe in Him to be free, especially you who claim that you believe in God, but you're trapped. You're trapped because of an addiction, because of a financial situation, your debts. Things went out of control. Now you are to the point that you are falling down fast and you can't grasp anything to break the fall. You lost control. You don't know what else to do. So this is the moment for you to get help. There's something that Jesus says in His words to me. one of the quotes that I always have in my mind. He said, "Without me, you can do nothing." So if he's saying to you and to me that without him we can do nothing, that means with him we can do everything. As Victoria commented in the previous segment, if happiness to you is only material things, I have to be honest with you, even if you accomplish all the material things that you believe will make you happy, you know what's going to happen? You are going to find out there's still a gap. There's still a void inside. Because we were created by God. We are God's creation. And He created us. He designed us with a certain part of us that only He can feel. Only His presence can feel. So no matter how much money one can make, how much fame one can achieve, how successful one can be, whether in sports or music, politics, whatever career is your dream career, without Him, there's always going to be an emptiness. And this emptiness won't be filled with drink, party, friends, women, drugs, entertainment, money. It simply won't fill this gap, because the same way you can't fit, a circle, fill a circle where a square should be, the same way, you can't fill this gap with nothing else but His presence. So if you want to start a change, prepare a glass with water. Why not to start the change with a prayer, which is shouldn't be a memorized piece of paper in front of you, with everything written, which, saying what you should say. No, conversation with God. Prayer means conversation with God. If you believe in that, we're going to do this with you right now. Prepare this glass with water. We have an inspirational YouTube video we're going to show you, also to give you time to prepare the glass with water. And when we come back, we'll be praying with you.
No matter how much I try to get motivated, I can't. I feel horrible that I'm falling behind in my career and business. I feel embarrassed to meet my friends because I don't want to talk about what I'm doing. I've applied to so many jobs to no avail, and I don't seem to be putting enough effort into my business. I'm making very little money, and I'm falling deeper into debt. I have time and a very supportive husband, but still I can't seem to get motivated. What is going on? What is holding me back? First thing I want you to know, girl, is you are not alone. Every single person on the planet at some point in their life has experienced this, including me, and it's very, very painful. When you're stuck in a rut and embarrassed about your life, there are steps you can take to get back on track. Number 1, be honest. Most of us have the tendency to hide our true feelings and pretend that everything's okay, when the truth is, it's not. Remember, your hiding isn't fooling anyone, it's just keeping you stuck. Speaking of hiding, that brings me to number 2. Step number 2 is to get out and be around people. Don't be a hermit until you get this all figured out. Most people think that they're not good company if they're going through a rough patch, and that's just not the truth. Start making plans with your friends. Fill up that calendar. Just being around people will help get you out of the rut. Step number 3, the most important, you have got to take action. May seem obvious, but most people whine and wallow in their misery rather than just doing something about it.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your spiritual well-being, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
God, I know that there are moments where we don't know what to do. Moments when we feel lost, trapped. We feel powerless and helpless. But the truth is that when we hit this point, that's the sign that we have to appeal to you. That we have gone probably as far as we could by ourselves. And we need your help, your intervention. Just like someone whose car is stuck in the mud and they are there spinning the wheels and the car isn't really going anywhere. Maybe this is what this person feels like. They're like this car stuck in the mud, spinning the wheels very fast, but the more the wheels are spinning, the deeper they are sunk into this sadness, depression, anger, frustration, bitterness, addictions. They are into, a down spiral, and they can't find their way out. They can't stop the fall, my Lord. So please help. This is what we ask you. As the topic of tonight's program was help, I feel trapped. Please help this person. Do what I cannot do. Even those who help others or who try to help others, but whatever they tell others to do is not even working for themselves because they lack the element God. They're not including you in the equation. That's why the relationship is with the family members in marriage and other aspects of life is so poor, is non-existent, because only you can bring life and life to the full. Only you, God. So this is what I ask you to do. Please help this person, even through something as simple as a glass of water. But the same way that in the beginning your Spirit was hovering over the face of the waters, please touch this water, bless it. So by drinking it, this person may really feel energized to do something different now, today, and put their life on a new course that's going to lead them to freedom, accomplishment, happiness, fulfillment, and true satisfaction with you, my Lord, and with themselves. This is my prayer. In whatever I didn't say in this prayer, I ask your Spirit to make up, my Lord, because you know which one's needs. So we bless this person who believes and is praying with us now. Be blessed. Wherever you are, the presence of God reaches you. And if you agree, you can say amen and drink the water now with faith. So it was a pleasure being with you until now. This is the end of tonight's program, but we hope to keep seeing you tuned with us for Finding Answers, and we'll be talking about more topics, hopefully helping you to put your life on the right track and see positive change come to you. Good night.